I love, everyone knows me, I love and respect female MMA fighters. So we are so happy to welcome amazing Invicta fighter Serena DeJesus, and she is a bantamweight. Welcome to the show, Serena. So excited to talk to you.
Hi, thank you for having me on. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lovely Tuesday evening.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, ironically enough, the guest we had on right before you was an old opponent of yours, Taylor Guardado. Remember her?
Ooh.
She is going to be fighting against Kayla Harrison at 155, and she fought you at 135. I don't think there was any bad blood between the two of you, right?
Nah, I really wanted to get that money angle before she left for PFL, because I'm thinking to myself, does she not like money? But she just jumped into 155 fighting Kayla Harrison, so I guess she does like money. So go her.
Exactly, this is true. Not to distract from you, but do you think she can bring something to Kayla? She looks like a strong girl. She's got some wrestling. Kayla usually is fighting lanky girls that don't have a lot of wrestling. Is there some possibility, or do you feel Kayla is the blonde Terminator that just keeps terminating?
I mean, I think Kayla has good hands for a grappler. No takeaway from Guardado, but I'm seeing Kayla Harrison get people down, like hit hard enough that she can come in and do what is her strong point. I hope that Guardado's wrestling can negate the judo, throw attempts and everything else in Kayla. I personally think it'll be close.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited to tune in and watch.
Yeah, absolutely. October 27th. Now let's talk about you. You are on a good streak. You are fighting at 135. You had fought at what, 45 and 55 even? Or tell me what divisions you fought.
I've stayed clearly in bantamweight ever since my amateur career. I don't plan anytime soon to bounce around the divisions. There's no rationale for me to do so.
Absolutely. Although I know when you fought Taylor, she probably walked in there 10 pounds heavier than you, I would imagine, because she said when she was a bantamweight, really big.
It didn't matter to me. Like, she felt heavy on the fence. But if you guys watched the exhibition fight we had in that tournament, I was pushing her around. I was the bully. I was getting her on the fence more than ever, elbowing her. There's this iconic gif where they catch me. I go full toes to mouth right there. And I've even had like really cool artists like Jacinta, her last name, she's going to kill me. But she draws like these beautiful works of art for MMA fighters, and she catches that picture.
Nice.
And so just draws me just full on like the photo, like toes in the mouth, and I'm just like, this goes on my wall.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, you have beat a couple of women that have fought in the UFC recently, and you're really looking good in Invicta, and I know they appreciate people that grind and hustle. How do you like being over in Invicta, and do you think your next fight will be there, or are you looking other places as well?
I love Invicta. Like, Angela, who works there, helps really take care of all the girls and everything. The drivers do, like, they take time from their jobs to go do this, and Shannon's looking out for everybody. There was a weird transition. There was that time last year we're all thinking like, oh my God, what's happening to Invicta? Because we're hearing rumors that Invicta's folding and all that. So to see her bring it to the next level with Access TV and everything, I think it's really cool.
I love that. And yeah, you're the one actually. Yeah. You were the one that just made me aware of that. So sorry to interrupt you, but I did not know that. Invicta is on Access TV now.
Yes. They got bought by Anthem. And Anthem Sports Media or whatever, have Impact and all that. It's kind of cool.
Without a doubt, I'm really excited about seeing that because I've always loved Access TV. They used to have the only national MMA talk show inside the MMA. I don't know if you're an old school, but remember that? Bas Rutten, right? Mm-hmm. And I love that. Kenny Rice, and then they had Mauro Ranallo in the last couple of years. I remember they would throw it over to Michael Chiavello and Pat Miletich doing the LFA shows, right? And oh, that was such a great show. That was obviously owned there by Mark Cuban. I remember one episode, you can YouTube it, where the guests were Mark Cuban, the owner of the station, Joe Rogan, the crazy Jason Mayhem Miller, and they were cussing up a storm. It was hilarious. You got to check that if you could YouTube it. It was from like 10 years ago or something, I think.
Oh God, what a time! Like, I'm gonna be 30 in January, and hearing that, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, when I started training and everything, not long now.
Mm-hmm. I know time does fly by. Well, you are, I'm sure, someone they want to have in Invicta again. Is there any talk of a next opponent, or is there anything you can tell us, or is it kind of still in limbo?
We're trying. Me and my management team, Prime Elite Management, are trying to kind of angle, because I love Invicta. I would love to fight for Invicta again, but it's all about quality opponent, quality pay. You know, I have one career. I might as well milk it for all it has. But ideally, I would love to fight for the Invicta belt. It'd be a fun little story, because I fought Tenet before 2 years ago for my Invicta debut, and I feel like I've really grown a lot from it. Also really changed up my look a bit. I used to have hair down to here. Now from back-to-back fights, I kind of had to cut a little insurance policy off, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So is she the current bantamweight champ over there, Tanisha Tennant?
She fought on the same card. She fought Lisa Brazosa for the belt, and I got to watch that and saw how that fight unfolded, which was kind of good for my studies. My coach, Marvin Eastman, probably remember him, don't you?
I do, absolutely.
I've really grown under him, I think, in the striking department, so I think I'm going to show her that I'm not that scrawny, timid little thing or whatever. I've grown a lot. My body's being better because of my diet I get from my nutritionist and strength conditioning coach at Primetime Performance here in Vegas.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think everything's set for that, or give me a shot at Contenders or something. I mean, those two UFC veterans I fought, they were literally back-to-back. I fought Elizabeth Phillips in June.
Yep. And
then the manager's like, hey, Invicta called. They want you to fight this UFC veteran at the end of August. Can you do it?
Crazy.
I'm like, oh, God, no. But, yeah, so I got to work. I hardly had any rest. I just jumped back in the tank and just kept going.
That is awesome. And so having had 2 fights in 3 months, when do you think you're going to be fresh enough and healed enough to go again? Next month, or would you prefer November, December, what?
I'm healed enough right now. I'm just trying to get a few things of my personal life kind of squared away. I'm trying to get this trip where my friend in Tennessee is giving me his car, and I'm going to go visit my a gunsmith sponsor of mine, and put together a little fun AR-15 for myself, just for target shooting and whatnot.
Cool.
I'm here in Las Vegas. That's why I go in the desert and shoot cans and stuff for fun.
Some
people,
cool.
That's just my thing.
Nice.
Let's do that, and then I'm going to drive all the way back from Tennessee to Vegas. So
nice.
But like I said, if the offer of the opponent and the money's good for it, I can side skirt my plan for a little bit. It's just I'm at walking weight. I feel really strong. I'm doing really good. I mean, I only took a week off for my last fight.
Wow.
Like, totally unbruised. Like, I don't think there was a bruise anywhere on my body. I just was sore.
I like that.
Because after fight, adrenaline's up, but all the adrenaline leaves your body and your muscles just become stiff with lactic acid. It is the worst feeling.
Yes, I can imagine. It's good that you know about that, because the more you know about your health and recovery, and you've got great people working with you, the better you can be as a professional athlete. Now, are you doing some training at Syndicate? I see that SureDog has that listed, but they're frequently wrong. Or were you just there shortly, or do you go there once in a while, or where do you normally train in a Syndicate part of the structure?
I've been in Syndicate since, I first visited in 2014, had my fight camp there when I still lived but then I would fly home to where I lived before and grew up in Philadelphia. And then it turned in 2016 to be a permanent stay in Las Vegas. And I stayed at Syndicate full time. So Yeah, I've been with them a hot minute, I'd like to say.
Nice. And there are a lot of great people there. Throw out, if you would, especially since there's no immediate fight coming up, this wouldn't be giving away any secrets you don't want to give away. Throw out some of the people that you normally train with there. Maybe at first some names that people may have heard of, and then if you want to, some people that no one's heard of.
Okay, so we're going to go with the obvious one, given the fight this weekend. I train with my friend Roxanne Modafferi.
Awesome.
I'm not giving away her game plan, clearly, but
right.
She's learned a lot from her last fight.
Right.
She does all the right things, you know. She's working all the time with people with her. I mean, I'm pretty inspired. Like, you know, the girl's going to turn 39 like the day before, or I think it's the day before her fight.
Awesome. She's amazing. What a legend. Absolute pioneer, right?
Fire to fight that long, you know, to be that cool and fight that long.
Yep.
So we got her, we got Joanne Calderwood, we got Bella Mir, the daughter of Frank Mir.
Oh yeah, what's she like?
Oh my God, she's a tank. Like, I train with straight up dudes a lot because I also don't give a fuck, and I've barred 155-pound women from PFL. My Ukrainian homegirl, Olena, I can't pronounce it. Back in town.
Right.
Bella Mir is the only girl when she shoots a double to like totally have my feet leave the ground.
Wow.
Like, act alone makes my feet leave the ground. So if I don't frame and turn like that, I'm going for a ride.
Nice. Yeah. What does Bella fight at? Featherweight or lightweight?
She's more of a bantam and featherweight. It really depends on like how short notice the fight is or whatnot.
Right.
But she's ambitious. What makes you feel like you want the belt? And she's like, all of them. I'm like,
nice. Nice.
17 again.
Yeah, I hear you. I know. She's so young. It's great. And that Frank Mir, her dad, got to be really proud because she's an amazing fighter. And then Roxanne is amazing. And then who was the other one that you threw out? Did you throw out one more?
And then we also have Ramona Pascal, who's really cool. She fought on Icon in June.
Nice.
And she's good. I think big things are coming for her.
Right, definitely. And it's a great school. How often, I guess Randy is running around the world doing movies and other stuff, but is he there sometimes? And have you had any interaction with him?
With who?
What am I saying? Randy Couture. That was our last guest at Extreme Couture. Forget that. That was a brain fart. So at Syndicate.
But that's as much interaction I've had with him.
There we go. Well, that's something, because I know he's in Las Vegas. There we go. I knew that was Vegas. So who are some of the more famous fighters that you've met in Las Vegas? There's got to be a ton of them. And have you had any positive words from any of them or get inspired by any of them?
I've met Miriam Nakamoto, and she's really cool. I like her because she's a Muay Thai-based striker and everything.
Yes.
She's really good.
She's a great legend. I saw her fight in a Muay Thai fight in L.A. like 10 years ago.
That is Kickboxing and Striking by Love and Joy. I have met Jessica Rose Clark. We're actually teammates for a while at Syndicate, and she's really cool.
Nice.
She's through a lot of things that have come up for me this year and stuff, so big thanks to her. We have Khalil Roundtree also at the gym. He's dope as hell. Some of the more famous fighters I have met in Las Vegas. Well, I went out to dinner. Misha Tate took me out for dinner once when I was still an amateur. So does that count?
Nice. I like that. And I know, and Misha is over there at Extreme Couture as well. She's an amazing fighter. This comeback is fantastic after having 2 kids. You know, that's what's inspiring, you know. I mean, I've always loved women's MMA fighters. One of the things I love about you guys is the discipline that you have, because it is harder to cut weight and lose weight and get in great shape for women, but you guys kind of prove you can do it. And I know that I'm not trying to give a hard time to women that are housewives or that are working in offices or executives, because it is harder for them. They're not athletes, but the shape that women get in your sport, even these women that have babies and then have a 6-pack like 6 months later, it's really amazing. It's just a great thing. You guys are such great role models. I know you do work with kids and like that. And what does it feel like to be in a position kind of where people are looking up to you? And do you have more focus on, kids, or do you like to be working with women more, or both, or what?
So, yes, I do a lot of work with kids. I teach, I help coach and everything. And, well, at least before COVID hit, I would hold self-defense seminars for autistic kids and teens.
Nice.
Because all my stuff is from the autism spectrum, and I didn't have role models growing up who were autistic.
Right.
So I basically promised to myself that I want to be the person I wanted when I was, like, growing up.
I love that.
So, that you know what, I can sleep well at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's awesome. That's an awesome thing also, because I think you may be the first fighter that had was autistic and that's fighting, and that's an inspirational thing. Do you find that that there really is anything that you feel is tougher for you? I mean, obviously it's got to be an unusual circumstance, but the way you fight, it just, you don't look any different in your fighting skills or look or sound any different visually than anyone else. Has it made it any tougher for you to train, or overcoming that? Was it a really hard hurdle?
Yeah, I have a bit of sensory issues, and I have to kind of throw a little bit of things in the way to kind of like buffer it all. So I take copious amounts of CBD, so I don't get migraines and being overwhelmed and everything, and don't jump at every loud thing that happens, like if someone's slamming a weight or something on the floor. So I do that. I do a lot of meditation. But backstage, I mean, I've done this for so long. Like, yeah, the nerves come at me, but I know what I do. I know what the job is out there. I mean, what am I going to do? Just run out the venue and say, the hell with this?
Right.
No. I get to hit somebody and not get in trouble for it.
I love it.
I mean, come on.
I love it.
Like, win or lose, I get to do those two things in that order, and it's beautiful.
That is awesome. Did you ever have fear? I think, like, if some women watch this broadcast who are not fighters, I mean, 50 years ago, there'd probably be one woman out of a million that would be having the courage to be a fighter. It's different now. Now there's a lot of women that fight. But I still think if you had 100 women in an office or in a grocery store and asked 100 of them how many of you would be willing to go fight in a cage, probably it'd be one or zero. So it's an unusual thing. What gave you the courage to be kind of one of the few women that would be willing to go into an octagon, a cage, and fight? Because even though it's more common than it used to be, it's still kind of a unique thing, I think, isn't it?
I think I've always come out of the womb a little fiery. I always caused a little bit of trouble for my poor mom. And I was just always trying to be in athletics, because when I was younger, I had like absolutely terrible motor skills. Like, I couldn't walk without tripping on my own 2 feet.
Oh, right.
I was in occupational therapy and physical therapy. So I was in the middle. Like, that's how now, as an adult, like 29 going on 30, I'm doing the most complex movements the human body can do, right? Or at least some of the most complex ones. So It's kind of a success story. But I got into this because I love fighting video games, I love anime, and I love Power Rangers. So that was like the trifecta for me growing up.
Nice.
So, I'm watching Sailor Moon, I'm playing Tekken, I'm playing Street Fighter, I'm doing all this. So my reward every Friday would be going to the video store and like renting anime, because I was watching like 80s anime that was like, no one's ever heard of, because this was before everybody really jumped on to anime. It wasn't until Pokemon first dropped, I think, that everyone was like, oh man, anime's cool. And I'm like, I know what this is. I've known what this is.
Nice.
So one day I come downstairs, because my dad also rented tapes, and I'm watching the iconic Paul Herrera and Gary Goodrich match.
Oh yes, I remember that well, with Gary Goodrich in the black judo gi. Yep.
When the crucifix happened, I'm thinking, this is my like 5-6-year-old brain, I'm thinking of King from Tekken, where he does like this, how he does a takedown and just literally does ground and pound on you in the first game.
Nice.
I'm like, it's like all the stuff I love, but it's real life. And nice. I just became a fan of it. Like, I didn't think I would do it, but I grew up just watching it, enjoying it. Like I was saying, like, my friend Roxanne Modafferi when she fought at IFL. No one remembers IFL. It's sad, like
I do.
Elite XP,
Yep.
Wrestling, like all. I loved it all. But then after high school ended, you know, because I was starting to get kind of in athletics, like I was powerlifting in high school. So I'm like, okay, high school's over. There's not much weight room access anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If I just go to college, I'll go insane. And I found a local gym when I still lived in Philadelphia. I was close by, and I'm like, all right, you know what? This would be cool. And I could be that educated fan, not the guy in the bar who's screaming, twist and dick or whatever.
Right.
You know, wanted to be that person. But it's kind of funny because just going to class, just loving it, let the educated turn into my first grappling tournament, which turned my first Muay Thai fight, which I loved, which then in turn led me to meeting my buddy and mentor, Roxanne Modafferi, and then doing MMA. And then it's a wrap from here, you know?
Absolutely. It's awesome. And you're a really good fighter. And I love that you said Misha Tate took you to lunch. Did she impart any wisdom to you years ago on that lunch she took you to?
She was just saying to basically do what's best in my career. And sometimes you have, you know, if it hurts, it's still okay as long as you're doing what needs to be done for yourself. Because she's just basically telling me this game is pretty tricky. And I'm starting to see that as I come along. It's kind of sad because sometimes you go in this game with like a fresh face, like, I'm going to do it all. And then kind of start seeing the inner, you know, gears of the machine twist. It's like, oh, so that's how it goes.
Right.
And that's that curveball.
Absolutely.
So I think I've definitely been heating, especially nowadays. And yeah, it's great. I was just happy to see her after my fight was over. We got to chat a little bit and catch up. She was really proud of how I've grown since the last time we, you know, trained and everything together, which was 2016.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, time does fly. Now, Roxanne is your training partner and your friend. She is such a balanced fighter. I mean, she's got the hands, she's got the wrestling, she's got the jiu-jitsu. I remember fighting her, not fighting her, what am I saying? I remember watching her fight. That'd be funny if an old guy fought Roxanne Modafferi. No, I remember watching her fight in the really early days where she beat Jennifer Howe, who was a great fighter there.
Howe.
Say that again?
That was the one in IFL I saw her, when she beat Jennifer Howe. I think that was the one. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing, and she just, you know, was such a tough fighter. And I know as a bantamweight, she was always undersized. And I know in the middle of a career, she was kind of thrown to the wolves against a lot of girls that were cutting down to make bantamweight. And so I was so glad when flyweight came, and she just has been an amazing fighter even at 39. What has she told you, or what training has she been able to provide to you that you feel is most valuable? Because she can do it all, but do you feel the striking is the most you've learned from her, the jiu-jitsu, the wrestling, or is it kind of all of it?
It's more on the grappling section. I feel I learn a lot from Roxanne. Like, I would like to think I'm really good at my cage defense because of her.
Nice.
Like, me how to shift off and everything, and how to reach shot. If I'm pinned against the fence, like how to attack and all that, how to even hold somebody on the fence and get takedowns. Like, she's really good at that. And I think she's also sharpened up my takedown defense. I mean, I really hope she did, because like when I first met her, like she would throw me around like a tennis ball all the way.
Right, like a rag doll, like they say, right?
Like I'm in midair going like, what the hell, just falling off, you know?
Right.
So, but it's still fun because like I was better at striking when we first met. So, you know, in striking and, you know, and grappling, it's like I'm here for striking, she's here, and then we just kind of build each other up. And it was the same kind of relationship kind of in that way for grappling. Like she's up here, I'm down here, so I'm figuring out how to beat her, and then she figures something out, and then we just keep growing together, and it's great. She's like the big sister I always wanted, because I'm the oldest of 4 kids, you know, and I'm happy with that role, but it feels nice to have somebody who has been in the game for a while and knows what's going on and is actively looking out for you and trying to guide you down the right path and help you avoid the pitfalls that they have fallen on, you know?
Without a doubt.
That's what it's about. you get to the top to reach back and help somebody else.
Without a doubt, and that's really huge, and it's really cool that you have her there, and then you're helping kids and everything, and so it's good karma. It's like creating positive cycles in life instead of vicious cycles where negative things happen is so important, especially nowadays. I'm really glad you have her. We have only a few minutes left with you, Serena, so in that time, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and opinions on things, but before I do, I definitely wanted to thank your manager, Sean Rockwell at Prime Elite Management. They are awesome. I know you like them, and they're doing a good job for you, huh?
Absolutely. Like, before I got with Prime Elite, I was not getting many fights. I was fighting once or twice a year if I was lucky. And ever since I got with Prime Elite Management, like, I had 3 fights this year. This is beautiful. Who knows? Maybe in the winter it might be fight number 4.
Awesome.
But I'm excited, and I'm really, and he takes care of me. Like, he sent me pictures. Like, he sent me like full printed pictures, like I can hang on my wall of like my, stuff, moments of my fights and stuff. It's really cool.
I like that. That's awesome. He seems like a great guy. So, opinion coming up Saturday, 1 division below yours, flyweight championship, the Bullet Valentina Shevchenko. Many people consider her the GOAT of female fighting. Lauren Murphy coming up trying to do something. Big underdog. Can you tell me how you see that fight playing out, even more than just a prediction? But maybe give me a minute of what do you think we're going to see when that bell rings?
Oh, man, this is going to be so hard for me because Lauren has always been dope to me. Like, I remember one time, because my love of Godzilla is apparently well known everywhere. Nice. He messaged me saying, hey, what size shirt are you? I'm like, Laura Murphy just randomly messaged me asking what shirt size I am. Okay, I'm a small. Cool. And he's like, all right, cool. I got your gym's address. Let's send you something. I'm like, oh boy, what is it? She sends me a shirt that has Godzilla on it and a gi, and it says Guard Jitsu. And I'm just like in love with that.
Nice. That's so cool.
Yeah, so Lauren's cool. I want her to win already by default, but let's get into the nitty-gritty specifics.
Yes.
Lauren has never been finished in her entire MMA career. Mm-hmm. Her only losses are decisions. Choke, knocked out or whatever. So Lauren's durable. Like, I honestly think she's retained her bantamweight strength. But Valentina is so darn technical. It's like, it makes me mad because I'm so jealous. But that's so cool. I think Lauren will have to overpower Valentina. So Valentina, I think, will just counter-strike because she's light on her feet and she knows angles. But I see this going to the floor. I really do. I don't think Valentina will want to eat power from Lauren. Valentina can throw and would just play it safe on the ground where there might be an advantage. But I think this is close. I think if it ends anywhere, I think it would end into the 4th round.
Yeah, late in the fight. Yeah, my producer has gone on record as picking Lauren Murphy to win this fight, and he's known to be bold with his picks. But I couldn't go as far as that. I didn't make my official pick yet, but I said I believe in Lauren, but I can't officially pick her as of now. But I give him a lot of credit for doing that. But she is tough. If she can end up in the top position, especially in like half guard or like full mount or side control, right, that could be really dangerous for Valentina. And it'd be interesting to see how Valentina reacts, because Lauren, I think, is a black belt, and I don't think Valentina is, although I know her jiu-jitsu is better than it used to be. But it'd be interesting to see what she's going to do, because she would not want to turn her back to Lauren Murphy for sure. But if she's getting smashed by elbows, then, it's going to be really interesting. Well, Serena DeJesus, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Let us know when you have a fight signed. We'll get you back on. But you're a super nice person, and you are an inspirational person. Absolutely amazing that you're, working with the kids with autism and totally putting that, behind you and dealing with those challenges and just killing it. So you're like a superstar in my eyes, and I can't wait to see your career continue with great success.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You take care, and we will definitely talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Have a great night.
You too. Take care, Serena. Good night.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the HANNIBAL TV for instant updates.